start to your morning. AMC is ripping. So let's see what we got. All right, we're looking like a slight resistance at 42.50. There it goes, just broke about 42.50. I got 2,100 shares. I bought a couple more shares as it was building a support level here. Let's see if we can hit $43 a share. Here we go. All right, 42.50. Big pullback. Watch for this drop. All right, 42.40. Descending MACD, right? So watch out for the descending MACD. Are we losing our momentum? Here we go. All right, I'm going to do half here, just in case. Come on. See if we can still continue to hold. $42.40. You guys see that hesitation there? So showing signs of a potential resistance. We're consolidating. Here it goes. Can we break above 42.50? Come on. Nope. Nope. Rejected, rejected, rejected. Here it goes. Next candle. Let's see if we can break above. Oh, not looking too bad. There it goes. 42.55, 42.60, 42.65. All right. Everything else seems to be in the red, right? We got Facebook down a quarter or down a little bit under 1%. There it goes. A lot of consolidation here, so let's watch out for a potential pullback. Do you guys see this hesitation? Descending MACD showing signs of a potential resistance. So just a little fair warning that it is showing signs of potentially a resistance level and getting ready for a pullback. So I'm going to sell once again. Not the best exit, 42.35, but again, still up a decent amount on the day, $6,000. And now we're just going to wait to see if we actually pull on back. And if we do, I can always buy back more. If we break out, then again, I can get back in even heavier, right? So let's be aware that we have options. We don't have to always try to just be perfect when it comes down to these trades. That's what I want to continue to encourage one another to do, to become a little bit more comfortable. You know, there it goes, huge pullback, and this is where, look at that, look at that, look at that huge freaking pullback. Let's not get too excited. Watch for confirmation of a support. That was a really, really strong pullback. Went from, in 1 minute, went from highs of 42.46 down to 41.35. So a quick drop. It could still continue to drop. There we go. I'll buy in increments of 150 just to give myself a little bit of cushion. All right, there it goes. Looks like it's trying to find a support level here. Still dropping. So ticker HUD looking like it could be reversing soon. All right, we'll check it out. Showing signs of a potential support here. We'll see if it holds. There it goes. Trying to hold. There it goes. Picking up right once again. All right, that was my last average up. You guys see that? So we waited for the pullback. It showed signs of a support level. I loaded off here, so this allowed me to buy back at a lower level, and I can make up the difference, right? So if I got in at an average of 41.75 here, I still have 2.5, nearly 2 to 2.5% to potentially make. Based off of previous highs and where it pulled back to, right? So I didn't have 2,500 shares here and then just write it back down and write it back, right? I can lock in profits, wait for a pullback, load up more, and then ride the reversal if it plays out that way, which it does not have to, but we'll see or how it holds up. There it goes, picking up. MACD's looking good, indicating signs of a reversal. AMC is super active today. Please be very careful with AMC. If this is something that you are not used to, just understand that maybe putting a little bit less money behind the trade might be useful for you as you're becoming familiar with how to control your emotions, your excitement, your sadness, however it might be, depending on how AMC fluctuates. Please take that into consideration. So we're going to now transition to selling as we approach the resistance level right around 42.50 to 42.80. You guys can see previous resistance range around here, so I can even load off here just a little bit. You guys can see that resistance, right? 42.50. Again, it hit highs of 42.83. This is what some people don't understand. It hit highs of 42.83, but a lot of that consolidation was done right around 42.50. So if we get rejected around this area, you can't be surprised, right? Because this is where most of the consolidation was. This is just where we peaked. So it's a resistance range right around 42.50, and you can see that it's experiencing it right now. So this is why it's super important to understand overbought and oversold ranges, not just specific price points. Let's see if we can build that support. Even set a limit order with 700 shares. This could be a 42.50. Alrighty, so Ricky, are you in Snap? I am not. I have to follow up with it, so I am not in Snapchat though. I can check it out though. Those Urban Outfitters still indicating signs of an uptrend. So, yeah, let's follow up with Garmin in just a little bit. Remind me of that in just a bit. I just want to see if we break above 42.50. If we do, it looks like it's almost building this bull flag pattern. If it continues to rally and consolidate around 42.50, I think that there could be a breakout or we're going to see a strong drop. So I think that's kind of what I'm looking out for right now. And it's already dropping. Let's see. Watch for the pullback. Watch for the pullback. Look at this. Again, not every trade has to go according to plan. Yeah, so I appreciate that, Paul. James, I don't know if you tuned into the first part of the live trading, but I was explaining where I was buying and why I would sell at overbought levels to buy at oversold levels. It was consolidating here, indicating signs of a resistance level. So I went from 2,300 shares, something like that, 2,500 shares, and then I sold all the way down to 1,300 shares. So I sold over 1,000 shares, and then I bought 1,000 shares and I wrote it back. There it goes, really nice push. I'm just not gonna hesitate to lock in profits here, team. There it goes. Let's see if we can. Oof. So I really sold quite a bit. Look at that. I only have 1,000 left, but it's fine. It's fine. I need to understand overbought and oversold levels. Now I'm not, if it breaks out, I can jump back in, but if it pulls on back, I'm not going to be, anxious. I'll be cool, calm, and collected. GME is up 19% on the day. So GME is ripping it even more than AMC. So it's great to see. Very overbought. All of them are. But look at that, approaching the previous resistance level of $44. Look at that. No stopping this. So, all right, I'll sell in increments of 150. One thing that I need to get better at, and this is why I like having these live streams with you guys, is looking now big picture. AMC is very overbought. If I were to ask you, based off of where it normally trades at, is AMC overbought or oversold, right? We could see that it tends to have a support level around $35, a resistance level right around $44, right? So I am more at a resistance than I am at a support based off of previous patterns. It doesn't mean that it has to continue to get rejected. It could break out, it could shoot, right? 100%. But just based off of previous patterns, I'm at a potential resistance level. This should throw a red flag in my head and be like, hey, this is where you should choose to be more selective instead of averaging up blindly or more aggressively like you would down here, right? Averaging down here made sense because I had the opportunity cost in my favor. A previous support level, there's more upside, but it wouldn't make too much sense over here. So let's not get too excited on the day chart because of how much AMC is pushing up and forget the overall big picture and looking at previous patterns that were at a resistance level. And if we do get rejected, I don't want my average purchase price to be $43 or $44, right? I want to reduce most of my position up here, and if it pulls on back, then I can load back up at $35 a share. Make sense? It's understanding where you're at and the perspective if you're at a support or at a resistance, and that should influence to some degree or take into consideration if you want to continue to average up at that price point very aggressively. If not, then, and if you choose to do so, then what's your exit strategy? Because if all of a sudden it begins to pull on back down to $35, what are you going to do? Where are you going to manage your risk? Where are you going to cut losses? Always something you need to take into consideration and not just think that it's going to be bullish forever, because it's not, right? We need to anticipate and know when to pull out and to call it quits, that we're okay with the money that we made, right? To anticipate and prepare for that pullback. I hope that makes sense. Do you still lock in profits on blue chips, long-term stocks when they're overbought? I do, but not as aggressively. I'm not super eager to if it's overbought, but it still has ways to go based off of previous levels. I wouldn't be super eager to lock in profits, right? So like an example can be Kroger's overbought on the day, but I'm not going to lock in profits just because I'm up a little bit on Kroger because I still see a lot more upside margin. So I tend to be a little bit more relaxed with those specific trades because I don't view them to be hyped up stocks. I'm very open when I trade AMC. I know it. I mean, if anything, people get offended. You guys can see by the YouTube comments, right? When I upload a video about how much money I made trading AMC, it's not even about the money that I focus on. I think the entire video yesterday or last night, I focused on showing and expressing where I sold and why I sold, and encouraging people, regardless if it's AMC or not, to not be afraid to lock in profits on whatever stock, right? To not aim for a perfect target, but to understand why it's so important to, just sell, period. And I love talking about if I'm going to take advantage of a risky play, I label it as a risky play. If people ask me, should I get in? I have friends that message me all the time. Ricky, do you think I should buy AMC? And I actually had a conversation yesterday. And more often than not, I always say no. It's a risky stock. I don't want to feel bad if, I watch this stock every day. I can manage my risk. I feel like I'm well versed in this market, right? If someone's just getting started and they see that AMC, pushes up, but then they don't know when to lock in profits, they don't know what overbought or oversold levels are, they don't know how to manage or mitigate risk, then I feel like it's different, right? It's a different monster. So you need to understand when you can take things a little bit more lightly and approach a stock in a more conservative way, and when you have to be more structured, more disciplined, and more tight with your trades because the stock is a little bit, riskier. It's a little bit more volatile. That's not something I discussed, Nick, but I appreciate you asking. But no, we're doing good. So I'm still waiting for 44. Yeah, you guys can see that it's definitely slowing down. I mean, the MACD and everything looks really good at the EMA line right now. But we'll see if we actually build a support, and or I actually think that we're going to pull on back pretty strong. So it was doing a lot of consolidation here. I felt like if we didn't see that breakout, we would have seen a big drop. So we'll see if we drop right back down to, $41. And friendly reminder, if it drops back down to $41, it doesn't mean that it has to recover back to 44. What I'm trying to say is understand when enough is enough. We're at a resistance level. Understand that it doesn't have to continue to rally. So that's the whole purpose of this live stream. I talked about position size. I talked about overbought and oversold levels, not just on the day, but overall big picture. So let's take that into consideration. So thoughts on Netflix. Okay, so on the day chart, wow, that's made a steady recovery. Very bullish, very consistent. Do I view it to be a good deal? No. It's bullish, so if you want to get in for that, then great. Do I think opportunity cost? I think it's the best stock to buy right now. No, it's bullish, it's consistent. I like deals, so I would rather buy it. I like the challenge. I like the struggle. I would rather buy something when it pulls back and people are uncertain. I mean, I don't feel like Netflix is going anywhere, so I'm okay with waiting for a pullback for an opportunity to present itself, and then I'll choose to take advantage of it there. So that's just me, though. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? Because if it does break above $44 and it tries to shoot up to 50, then that can be a whole different thing. But one of the things that you should always be reminded is that, be structured with your entries and your exits. If AMC breaks below this certain price point, I'm going to do this. If AMC breaks above this specific price point, I'm going to do this. So at least you're prepared. So if it begins to break out, you're not scared to get back in. You're prepared. If AMC pulls back, then you're not scared to cut losses and or lock in profits altogether and be completely out. Don't be afraid to, have these, premeditated plans. So is it still going up? Yeah, there it goes. We're doing good. I averaged up into urban on my Fidelity count, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Alrighty. Alright, but I had a lot of fun with you guys. I don't know if you guys did too. I feel like today, and let's be honest, right? Today was a pretty unique day. Today was a very bullish day. It's very easy to make money on bullish days. Let's not pretend like we're special. Let's not pretend like we have it all figured out. One of the things that I always love sharing with, of course, our Learn Plan Profit group is on my green days, I prepare for my red days, and on my red days, I prepare for my green days. We're not invincible. We're only as good as the direction of the market. And fortunately, today the market was bullish, right? It was in our favor, and we were at the right place at the right time. We're not invincible by any means, right? So it's a great way to remind us that every day is a new challenge. It doesn't matter how much you made yesterday, the week before, the month before, the year before. The stock market does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are or how much money you have. It is all based off of how to seek opportunity and manage and mitigate risk, right? So it's time to prepare and find the new one, right? If AMC begins to break out, then great, we can follow up with it. If it begins to pull back, then great, we'll wait for the dip. If we begin to see, all these other stocks that I'm invested in, right, begin to pick up, then we can average up into those and or reduce the position size. So I just got the alert that Urban Outfitters, yep, there it goes, breaking above $35 a share. So it might be time to even buy a little bit more. So I'm excited to follow up. Let's not get carried away with all this hyped up meme stock thing, right? Let's come back to earth and understand that it's great to have our risky trades. Let's not be afraid to lock in profits, but also take into consideration what opportunities are we taking advantage of overall for our long position. So yeah, I appreciate you guys' time. Hope and wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. I hope that you know, if you're new to the Learn Plan Profit team, if you just simply want to introduce yourself, message me via